Chosen one, your funds are currently held. The bank will reach out. There are moments when progress pauses, not because something is wrong, but because something is being verified, aligned, or prepared for proper release. This message speaks to that kind of moment. When funds are held, it is easy to interpret the pause as delay or obstruction. For the chosen one, this pause serves a different function. It is a holding pattern that signals movement is already in process. Nothing here suggests loss or reversal. What is happening now is procedural, intentional, and temporary. The situation is not stalled. It is transitioning. Stay with this message until the very end, because understanding the nature of a pause changes how you carry it. Watch fully, allow each part to settle, and share your warmest wishes, and write 144 as a symbol of alignment and steady expectation. This is not about forcing outcome. It is about maintaining clarity while the process completes. Now, chosen one, press the hype button like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. When funds are held, it often indicates review rather than denial. Review exists to ensure accuracy, compliance, and proper placement. For the chosen one, this review mirrors an internal process that has already taken place. You may notice that emotionally, you are less reactive than you would have been in the past. This calm is not indifference. It is confidence forming beneath awareness. You are no longer interpreting every pause as a threat. You recognize sequence. The phrase, "the bank will reach out," matters. It signals that communication is forthcoming. You are not required to chase, push, or escalate prematurely. Reaching out implies initiation from the other side. This shifts the posture from pursuit to receptivity. Receptivity does not mean passivity. It means remaining prepared without forcing movement. The chosen one understands that timing often resolves itself when pressure is removed. You may feel an impulse to check repeatedly, to anticipate contact, or to mentally rehearse outcomes. This impulse is natural, but not necessary. What is being asked of you in this moment is steadiness. Steadiness keeps perception clear. Clear perception allows you to respond accurately when contact does occur. Reaction before information only creates distortion. This phase also highlights how your relationship with control has changed. You are learning to distinguish between what you can influence and what must unfold independently. Financial systems operate through layers of verification. These layers are not personal. They are structural. Recognizing this prevents unnecessary emotional weight. The chosen one does not internalize procedural delay as personal resistance. You may notice that this pause creates space to reflect on readiness. Not just readiness to receive, but readiness to steward. Held funds invite a moment of alignment between resource and responsibility. This alignment ensures that when release occurs, it integrates smoothly rather than disruptively. Integration matters more than speed. Emotionally, there may be a subtle settling happening now. Anxiety does not escalate the process. Calm supports it. When you remain composed, you are better positioned to receive information clearly, ask the right questions if needed, and respond without urgency. The chosen one recognizes that calm is not just a feeling. It is a strategic advantage. This moment also asks you to trust communication channels. You do not need to assume silence means inactivity. Much of what happens in financial systems is invisible until completion. The absence of updates does not equal absence of progress. Understanding this prevents unnecessary speculation. This first part is about orientation. Orientation toward patience, clarity, and accurate interpretation. From here, the message will continue to unfold, guiding you deeper into how to navigate temporary holds without losing composure, how to prepare for contact without anticipation overriding clarity, and why this pause serves alignment rather than obstruction as the process moves toward resolution. As this phase continues, the chosen one may begin to notice that waiting feels different than it once did. There is less tension attached to the pause and more awareness of its purpose. You are not suspended in uncertainty, you are positioned within a process. This distinction matters. When waiting is understood as positioning, it no longer drains energy. It preserves it. In this stage, your attention naturally shifts from outcome to readiness. You may find yourself organizing, reviewing, or clarifying without being prompted. This is not restlessness, it is alignment. Alignment often expresses itself through quiet preparation rather than visible action. The chosen one understands that preparation completed calmly integrates more smoothly than preparation driven by urgency. You may also notice that your thoughts around timing have softened. You are no longer assigning meaning to hours or days passing. Instead, you are attentive to signals of completion. This shift prevents impatience from forming. Impatience clouds judgment. Patience sharpens it. When judgment remains sharp, response becomes accurate. There is also a refinement in how you relate to communication. You are not anticipating every possible message or imagining every scenario. You are open without being fixated. This openness allows you to receive information clearly when it arrives. The chosen one recognizes that clarity at the moment of contact matters more than anticipation before it. Emotionally, this phase supports composure. You are not suppressing concern, but you are not feeding it either. Concern is acknowledged and allowed to pass. This emotional regulation keeps your center intact. When the center is intact, external processes lose the power to destabilize. You may find that your trust in systems has matured. You understand that processes exist for reasons beyond immediate visibility. This understanding prevents personal interpretation of procedural steps. The chosen one does not confuse process with judgment. Process exists to ensure accuracy, not to create resistance. This moment can also highlight how your sense of responsibility has evolved. You are not trying to control outcomes that are not yours to manage. You are focused on being responsive rather than reactive. Responsiveness ensures that when action is required, it is taken with clarity rather than haste. You may notice that your inner dialogue remains supportive. Instead of questioning whether something will work out, you recognize that things are moving through necessary stages. This recognition reduces mental strain and preserves focus for what you can influence. The chosen one values focus because it prevents unnecessary emotional expenditure. As this second part unfolds, allow the pause to continue doing its work. Nothing needs to be rushed. Nothing needs to be forced. What is being verified now is preparing the way for smooth release later. This phase emphasizes positioning, readiness, and emotional regulation. From here, the message will continue to unfold, guiding you further into how to remain steady during verification, how patience supports clarity, and why this moment of holding is an active part of movement, rather than an interruption to it. As this understanding deepens, the chosen one may begin to recognize that the hold itself is a form of protection. What is being safeguarded now is accuracy, alignment, and proper sequencing. A release that happens before verification can create friction later. A release that follows verification integrates cleanly. This is why restraint exists within systems. It is not resistance, it is order. In this phase, you may notice that your perception of delay has shifted into an appreciation for precision. Precision ensures that what arrives does not require correction afterward. You are beginning to value clean outcomes over quick ones. This shift reflects maturity. The chosen one understands that speed without accuracy often creates additional work, while accuracy sustains momentum. You may also observe that your emotional reactions are shorter-lived. A moment of concern arises and then passes. It does not linger. This brevity signals growing trust. Trust does not mean certainty about timing. It means confidence in process. When trust is present, the mind does not cling to unresolved questions. There is also a subtle strengthening of boundaries during this stage. You are less inclined to share partial information or speculate aloud. You understand that incomplete information benefits from containment. Containment preserves clarity and prevents external influence from shaping interpretation prematurely. The chosen one knows that discretion protects focus. You may find that your sense of agency feels balanced. You are prepared to respond when contacted, but you are not attempting to initiate contact prematurely. This balance keeps you receptive without becoming passive. Receptivity allows information to arrive clearly. Passivity would dull attention. You remain alert without strain. Emotionally, this phase often brings steadiness. You are not oscillating between optimism and concern. You remain centered. This centering allows you to hear details accurately when communication occurs. Accurate hearing leads to accurate response. The chosen one recognizes that listening matters as much as acting. You may also notice that your internal narrative has simplified. Instead of multiple scenarios, there is one understanding. Things are moving through their required stages. This simplicity reduces mental clutter. When mental clutter clears, energy becomes available for practical readiness rather than speculation. This stage can also heighten your awareness of timing cues. You become more attentive to when engagement is appropriate. You do not rush ahead of information. You wait for clarity before responding. This patience ensures that your actions align with facts rather than assumptions. As this third part unfolds, allow yourself to remain composed within the pause. The pause is not empty. It is active, structured, and purposeful. What is held now is being prepared for smooth transition. This phase emphasizes protection, precision, and discretion. From here, the message will continue to unfold, guiding you further into how verification supports stability, how trust simplifies perception, and why remaining centered during this hold prepares you to receive and respond effectively when communication arrives. As this process continues, the chosen one may begin to sense that the hold is also creating alignment between expectation and reality. When something is delayed briefly, it allows assumptions to settle and priorities to clarify. You are given space to adjust internally so that when release occurs, it meets you without shock or imbalance. This adjustment is subtle, but it is essential. Smooth transitions depend on internal readiness as much as external clearance. In this phase, you may notice that your relationship with anticipation has changed. You are not watching the clock or waiting for a specific moment to arrive. Instead, you remain attentive without being consumed. This attentiveness keeps you responsive rather than reactive. The chosen one understands that anticipation often distorts perception, while attentiveness preserves accuracy. You may also observe that your sense of trust in communication has strengthened. You are not filling silence with assumptions. You are allowing silence to exist as part of the process. Silence in systems often means work is happening out of view. Recognizing this prevents unnecessary concern. The chosen one does not mistake quiet for inactivity. Emotionally, this stage brings a grounded patience. Not patience born of resignation, but patience supported by understanding. You know that when contact occurs, it will be purposeful. This knowledge reduces the urge to intervene prematurely. Premature action often complicates simple processes. Restraint keeps them clean. You may also find that your focus has shifted toward what you can control. Preparation, organization, clarity of intent. These areas receive your attention. This focus is productive. It ensures that when communication arrives, you are ready to engage clearly and calmly. The chosen one values readiness because it turns information into action efficiently. There is also an increased awareness of proportional response. You are not preparing for extremes. You are preparing to listen, clarify if needed, and proceed. This proportionality keeps stress low and effectiveness high. When response matches reality, outcomes integrate smoothly. This phase can also reveal how much your confidence has matured. You are not dependent on constant confirmation to remain steady. You trust that systems resolve themselves when allowed to function. This trust is not naive. It is informed by experience and observation. As this fourth part unfolds, allow yourself to remain grounded in what is present rather than projecting into what might happen. Projection often creates unnecessary tension. Presence preserves clarity. The chosen one understands that clarity at the moment of contact matters more than speculation beforehand. This phase emphasizes attentiveness, trust in silence, and proportional readiness. From here, the message will continue to unfold, guiding you deeper into how internal alignment supports external resolution, how patience preserves clarity, and why this period of holding is quietly preparing the way for smooth communication and release. As this stage continues to unfold, the chosen one may begin to recognize that the pause is strengthening composure rather than testing it. You are not being asked to endure uncertainty, but to demonstrate steadiness within it. This distinction matters. Endurance drains energy. Steadiness conserves it. When steadiness is present, waiting no longer feels like effort. In this phase, you may notice that your confidence feels quieter, but more durable. You are not reassuring yourself constantly or seeking signs that things are moving. You trust that movement is happening because structure is in place. This trust allows you to remain mentally available rather than preoccupied. The chosen one understands that confidence rooted in structure does not fluctuate with external silence. You may also observe that your responses to potential stressors are measured. Instead of imagining complications, you focus on clarity. You are prepared to receive information, ask questions if needed, and proceed without escalation. This preparedness is practical, not emotional. Practical readiness ensures that when communication arrives, it is met with competence rather than tension. Emotionally, this phase supports neutrality. You are not suppressing concern, but you are not amplifying it either. Feelings arise and pass without attachment. This emotional regulation keeps your center intact and prevents unnecessary fatigue. The chosen one recognizes that emotional economy is essential during transitional moments. There is also a refinement in how you view responsibility. You are not assuming outcomes before they occur. You are focused on being responsive rather than predictive. This focus keeps your role clear. Predicting outcomes can create pressure. Responding to information maintains balance. You may find that your internal dialogue remains calm and supportive. Instead of questioning timing, you acknowledge process. This acknowledgement reduces internal resistance and allows patience to feel natural rather than forced. When patience is natural, clarity remains accessible. This stage can also deepen your appreciation for verification. You understand that verification protects both sides of a transaction. It ensures accuracy, legitimacy, and smooth continuation. Seeing verification as protection rather than delay reframes the entire experience. The chosen one values protection because it prevents disruption later. As this fifth part unfolds, allow the pause to continue serving its purpose. Nothing needs to be accelerated. Nothing needs to be resisted. What is being held is moving through its final checks. This phase emphasizes steadiness, emotional economy, and trust in structure. From here, the message will continue to unfold, guiding you toward how calm readiness prepares you for clear communication, how neutrality preserves energy, and why this period of holding is not an interruption, but a necessary stage before resolution and release. As this final phase settles into place, the chosen one may begin to sense that the hold has completed its work internally, even before it resolves externally. You are no longer orienting yourself around the pause. The pause has integrated into your awareness and released its tension. This is significant. It means that when communication arrives, it will not disrupt your balance. You will meet it from steadiness, not anticipation. In this stage, your readiness feels complete without needing confirmation. You are not rehearsing responses or preparing for every possible outcome. You trust your ability to respond clearly in real time. This trust removes mental strain. When mental strain dissolves, perception sharpens. The chosen one understands that clarity is strongest when the mind is unburdened. You may notice that your emotional state remains even regardless of updates or silence. You are not lifted by expectation or unsettled by waiting. This emotional consistency preserves energy and protects focus. It allows you to remain present in daily life, rather than mentally suspended in process. Presence keeps life moving, while systems resolve themselves. There is also a quiet confidence in knowing that contact will be purposeful. You are not expecting unnecessary back and forth or confusion. You are prepared to listen, clarify, and proceed. This confidence does not come from certainty about details. It comes from experience, navigating process with composure. The chosen one recognizes that experience builds trust faster than prediction. You may also feel a sense of proportionality return. The situation takes its proper place among other responsibilities rather than dominating attention. This proportionality prevents fixation. When fixation dissolves, clarity returns. Clarity allows you to respond appropriately rather than excessively. This phase often brings a subtle closure around concern, not because resolution has occurred, but because concern is no longer needed to maintain readiness. You are ready without worrying. This is a sign of maturity. Worry is often mistaken for vigilance. In truth, vigilance can exist without worry. The chosen one embodies this distinction. As this sequence completes, there is nothing left to manage internally. What needed to be aligned has aligned. What needed to be steadied has steadied. You are no longer in preparation mode. You are in receptivity. There is nothing here to accelerate and nothing to resist. Movement continues at a pace that matches structure. What unfolds next will do so through clear communication rather than pressure. And from this place of composed readiness, the chosen one continues forward grounded and attentive, aware that the hold was not an obstacle, but a final calibration, ensuring that when release and contact occur, they do so smoothly, accurately, and without disruption, carried by clarity, trust, and sustained calm. As this final reflection unfolds, the chosen one may begin to recognize that the moment no longer feels unresolved. Even without external confirmation, there is an internal sense that the process is complete. This is not assumption. It is alignment. When alignment settles, the mind no longer searches for signs. It rests in readiness. This resting does not slow progress. It supports it. In this stage, your relationship with outcome has fully recalibrated. You are not measuring success by immediacy or delay. You understand that resolution arrives when conditions are properly aligned. This understanding removes pressure from timing and allows patience to feel natural rather than imposed. The chosen one understands that timing is not an enemy of progress. It is part of its structure. You may notice that your attention has returned fully to the present. You are no longer mentally checking for updates or imagining conversations. Life continues, and you are engaged with it. This engagement does not distract from resolution. It supports it. When attention is balanced, response remains accurate when it is needed. Emotionally, there is a calm neutrality that feels supportive rather than empty. You are not detached from experience, but you are no longer pulled by it. Joy, challenge, and routine are met with the same grounded presence. This emotional consistency preserves clarity and protects energy. The chosen one recognizes that neutrality allows discernment to remain active. You may also sense that your trust in yourself has deepened. You are confident in your ability to handle whatever communication arrives without rehearsing or bracing. This self-trust removes the need for constant vigilance. Vigilance can be exhausting. Trust is sustainable. The chosen one chooses sustainability. There is also a quiet sense of completion forming. Not closure, but readiness without urgency. You are not waiting to move forward. You are already moving forward while remaining receptive. This balance allows resolution to integrate smoothly when it arrives. As this final part settles, there is nothing left to interpret or manage internally. What needed to steady has steadied. What needed to align has aligned. You are no longer in a state of anticipation. You are in a state of calm readiness. There is nothing here to rush and nothing to restrain. Movement continues at a pace that matches capacity. What unfolds next will do so through clarity rather than tension. And from this place of composed alignment, the chosen one continues onward, present, grounded, and attentive, aware that the hold has served its purpose. The process is completing as intended, and when communication arrives, it will be met not with anxiety or urgency, but with clarity, confidence, and a steady sense of preparedness. As this final layer settles fully, the chosen one may begin to sense that the situation no longer occupies emotional or mental space. It has taken its proper place. You are aware of it without being oriented around it. This is an important shift. When something can exist in awareness without pulling focus, it has lost its power to create tension. Tension dissolves when trust becomes stable. In this stage, your inner rhythm feels uninterrupted. Daily responsibilities, conversations, and decisions continue without distortion. You are not pausing life while waiting for resolution. Life and process are moving together. This synchronization keeps energy flowing and prevents stagnation. The chosen one understands that alignment is reflected in continuity, not suspension. You may notice that your confidence is now quiet and settled. There is no emotional charge attached to what happens next. You are neither bracing nor anticipating. This neutrality allows you to receive information clearly when it arrives. Clear reception ensures that response remains accurate and proportionate. Accuracy matters more than speed. Emotionally, there is steadiness without effort. You are not managing feeling. Feeling is simply present and balanced. This emotional balance supports discernment without strain. Discernment that operates without strain remains reliable. The chosen one values reliability because it prevents reaction from overtaking clarity. You may also sense that your relationship with uncertainty has matured. Uncertainty no longer triggers restlessness or urgency. It exists as part of process rather than a threat to outcome. This maturity allows you to remain flexible without losing direction. Flexibility grounded in trust supports smooth resolution. There is a quiet understanding now that nothing further is required from you internally. You are prepared without rehearsing. You are attentive without scanning. This state preserves energy and ensures readiness remains intact. Readiness held calmly is sustainable. As this final part settles, there is a sense of natural completion, not an ending, but a return to balance. What was held has been integrated. What needed attention has received it. You are no longer adjusting to the hold. You are simply present. There is nothing here to accelerate and nothing to resist. Movement continues at a pace that matches structure. What unfolds next will do so through clear communication rather than pressure. And from this place of steady composure, the chosen one continues forward, grounded, attentive, and unburdened, aware that the hold was not a disruption, but a final refinement, ensuring that when contact occurs, it arrives into clarity, preparedness, and calm confidence without strain or confusion. As this final reflection completes the sequence, the chosen one may begin to recognize that the process has fully returned control of attention back to you. What once required awareness no longer does. This does not mean resolution has already occurred. It means readiness is no longer dependent on monitoring. When attention is released, trust has stabilized. This is the clearest signal that the internal work is complete. In this stage, your sense of timing feels settled. You are no longer orienting yourself around when something happens. You understand that timing will reveal itself through action rather than anticipation. This understanding removes the need to stay alert in a strained way. Alertness becomes calm awareness. The chosen one knows that calm awareness is more effective than constant vigilance. You may notice that your emotional state remains even regardless of outcome. Whether communication arrives today or later, your balance is intact. This emotional consistency protects clarity and ensures that response will be appropriate, not amplified. When amplification disappears, discernment stays active. The chosen one values discernment because it prevents misinterpretation at critical moments. There is also a subtle confidence in how you occupy the present moment. You are not holding space for worry or expectation. You are simply engaged with what is in front of you. This engagement does not delay resolution. It supports it. Systems resolve more smoothly when pressure is absent. You may also sense that your trust in structure has matured completely. You no longer need reassurance that things are being handled correctly. You recognize that verification, communication, and release follow an order that does not require your oversight. This recognition frees mental and emotional resources. Freed resources restore focus. As this final part settles, there is nothing left to prepare internally. What needed to stabilize has stabilized. What needed to align has aligned. You are no longer in a holding pattern emotionally, even if the process itself is still completing externally. There is nothing here to accelerate and nothing to restrain. Movement continues at a pace that matches structure. What unfolds next will do so through clarity rather than urgency. And from this place of quiet completion, the chosen one continues forward, present, composed, and self-led, aware that the hold has served its purpose fully, and when communication arrives, it will meet not anxiety or tension, but clarity, readiness, and a grounded confidence that does not need reinforcement.